It began with a single photo. No caption, no press release, no promotional tie-in. Just a quiet image posted in the early hours of a Sunday morning, and within minutes, the entire internet collapsed under its own disbelief. First, no one knew what they were looking at. A soft-lit picture framed by the golden hue of sunrise, Dylan Wang. Arm protectively wrapped around a small bundle in white. Beside a woman whose face, though half-turned, was unmistakable. Shen Yue. She wasn't smiling for the camera, she was smiling at him. The kind of smile that told 1,000 untold stories. Before the media could even begin to process what they were seeing, fans had already declared it a global event. Twitter melted. Weibo crashed. Instagram flooded with hearts, crying emojis, and hashtags that grew like wildfire. Dylan Shen family, twin reveal. Finally together. One fan wrote. The universe finally gave us closure, they were never acting. Another, through trembling caps lock, screamed. I knew it. I knew it for years. The image traveled faster than a scandal. Faster than a movie premiere, because it wasn't just celebrity gossip. It was something far more explosive, a secret love story confirmed after years of silence. People still remember the first time the world saw Dylan Wang and Shen Yue together. Back in 2018. The remake of Meteor Garden wasn't just another romantic drama, it was lightning in a bottle. Their chemistry wasn't rehearsed, it was alive. He, the rebellious heartthrob with eyes that smoldered like fire. She, the quiet storm of innocence and wit. Together, created a storm that never truly passed. When cameras stopped rolling, their story refused to die. Every interview became a battlefield of hints and denials. When Dylan said, Shen Yue is one of the few people who understands my silence, fans dissected this sentence like a code. When Shen Yue smiled during a talk show and whispered, sometimes you don't need to say everything, the fandom went viral. And yet, as months turned to years, rumors faded, not because people stopped caring, but because they stopped believing. Both actors grew in fame, took on separate projects, stood beside new co-stars, and built their careers with quiet determination. Dylan became the face of brooding masculinity. Shen Yue the emblem of natural warmth. Never confirmed anything. Never denied enough. And somehow always left just enough space for hope. That hope reignited the moment that photo surfaced. It wasn't the pose that made it powerful, it was the energy. They weren't trying to perform for the public eye. It felt raw, genuine, and deeply personal. Behind them was what seemed like a private garden. Sunlight falling through trees. Two small figures could be seen nestled between them, twins. Their faces blurred. Their tiny hands visible. One gripping Shen Yue's sleeve, the other reaching toward Dylan's necklace. For a moment, the world forgot its cynicism. The internet turned tender. Fans began writing messages of love and protection. Let them be happy, one comment read. They deserve peace after all this time. But peace was never going to come easily. Within hours, headlines exploded across the globe. Is it true? Dylan Wang and Shen Yue's family photo sparks speculation. Twin bombshell, hidden love or clever PR move. The photo that stopped Asia. Even major news outlets couldn't resist the story. Every platform, from CNN Asia to Dispatch, ran it with cautious words but bold subtext. No official statement had been released yet, but that only made the chaos more intoxicating. Meanwhile, fans began connecting the dots, photos, coincidences, gestures that suddenly made sense. That trip Dylan took to Jeju Island last winter? Shen Yue had posted a photo from what looked like the same beach. That matching bracelet spotted months ago? The very same one gleamed faintly in the new photo. The fandom turned into a full-blown detective agency. Every corner of the internet pulsed with speculation. Threads turned into emotional essays. YouTube flooded with timeline breakdowns. And fan artists immortalized the moment through digital portraits. For many, it wasn't just celebrity gossip, it was catharsis. A love story that had existed only in imagination had finally stepped into reality. But where there's adoration, there's outrage. Critics accused them of orchestrating a PR stunt. Some tabloids argue the photo was a leak to promote an upcoming project. Others whispered darker theories, that the picture was years old. That the children weren't theirs. That it was all a misdirection. The line between truth and narrative blurred with every passing hour. And yet, none of that seemed to matter to those who had followed their journey since the beginning. To the fans who'd seen the way Dylan looked at Shen Yue during that Meteor Garden press conference, the way time seemed to freeze when she laughed, this was more than proof. It was vindication. User on Weibo wrote, "We were called delusional for believing. But love doesn't need press releases, sometimes it just needs time." As the day unfolded, the digital storm grew stronger. Entertainment journalists camped outside studios, agencies, and even family homes, desperate for a statement. Paparazzi swarmed airports in case one of them fled. Producers quietly deleted old interviews that suddenly carried new implications. In the chaos, a sense of something deeper began to take shape, a realization that this wasn't just about romance, but about how fame devours privacy. The photo didn't just reveal love, it exposed how the world reacts to it. Through the haze of noise, a quiet question floated online: did they choose to reveal this? Or was it taken from them? As night fell, both stars remained silent. Their social media accounts untouched. No denial. No explanation, no acknowledgement. One image, glowing like a candle in a storm. But the silence only made the speculation louder. Fans refused to sleep. Journalists refreshed feeds like addicts. And media outlets prepared midnight releases in anticipation of a statement that never came. Until the next morning, when Dylan's official studio account finally posted a single message. Sometimes, the most beautiful things grow in silence. Thank you for your patience and kindness. The message sent shockwaves through every corner of the internet. No denial. No confirmation. Just a poetic line that seemed to speak volumes. Screenshots spread within seconds. Translated into multiple languages. Onto fan edits and news articles alike. People began reading between the lines. As they always had. Grow in silence, was that his way of confirming the twins? Of acknowledging a secret love nurtured away from fame's blinding light? As the digital frenzy reached its peak, one headline captured the world's collective gasp. The photo wasn't the whole story. Dylan and Shen Yue's agency is about to break its silence. And with that, the world held its breath. As if the picture was the spark, then what came next would be the explosion. The world had barely recovered from the first shock when dawn broke with another, colder, sharper, more explosive. Exactly 9 a.m. Both Dylan Wang's and Shen Yue's official studios released a joint statement. Two separate accounts. One identical message. Yes, we are a family. We've chosen love quietly and privately for years. Our children are healthy, happy, and surrounded by warmth. We hope the world will grant them the same. That's all it said. No apology, no elaboration. No staged photo shoot to accompany the words. Just truth, simple, deliberate, and devastatingly sincere. Within seconds, servers crashed again. Every corner of the internet erupted. But this time it wasn't chaos born of rumor, it was shock turned to emotion. People cried, shouted, celebrated across social media like a global festival of disbelief. It was official. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, a pair that had haunted the internet's imagination for nearly a decade, had been living their love story in secret, and had become parents to twins. For the first few hours, the world couldn't process it. Journalists scrambled for exclusive interviews. Fans posted compilations of old clips that now seemed to contain hidden meaning. Every fleeting glance, offhand comment, every behind-the-scenes smile suddenly looked like a breadcrumb leading to this very moment. One fan's tweet went viral. Fake chemistry. They lived it. Every scene was a message we didn't understand until now. Alongside the euphoria, a different wave began to rise, the need to know how it all happened. When did they fall in love? How did they hide it for so long? And most of all, what did it cost them? Behind every revelation lies a timeline the world never sees. As media analysts dug deeper, patterns began to emerge. Between 2019 and 2021, both Dylan and Shen Yue took notable breaks from the spotlight, citing exhaustion, overwork, or personal reasons. At the time, no one questioned it. Now, those absences were being reinterpreted as the hidden years, a period where their lives diverged publicly but intertwined privately. Travel logs surfaced. Fan sightings that had once been dismissed as coincidence now felt like proof. A blurry photo of Shen Yue in Vancouver in late 2020. A restaurant owner in Bali claiming Dylan dined with a small woman with kind eyes. A stylist recalling that Dylan once asked for children's size bracelets for a special shoot that never aired. It wasn't confirmation. But it painted a story, one of quiet rebellion. While others chased fame, they chased peace. Away from flashbulbs, they built a life made of stolen mornings and shared silence. A home unbothered by the industry's appetite for spectacle. But peace in the entertainment world never lasts forever. Whispers, quiet enough to ignore, loud enough to linger. The entertainment press noticed the way Dylan's tone changed whenever Shen Yue's name was mentioned. He never joked, never dismissed her. There was always a pause, that rare, protective pause of someone guarding something sacred. And Shen Yue, whose interviews had always been filled with laughter, began to deflect questions about love entirely. "It's not something I want to perform," once said softly. "Some emotions are too real to share." Now the world understood. Their secrecy wasn't deceit, it was defense. Age where privacy is currency and every moment is content. They had built a sanctuary. For themselves. For their children. As the story unfolded, reporters unearthed another layer, the meaning behind the twins' names. According to one insider close to Shen Yue's family, the children were named Ling, meaning spirit, and Chen, meaning dawn. Together, spirit and dawn, symbolizing renewal, silence, and new beginnings. It was poetic, almost too perfect. Fans began writing essays about it, claiming the names reflected the essence of their love, a love that had survived scrutiny and thrived in the dark. They waited until they were ready to bring light. One fan commented, "Across Asia, the revelation became more than entertainment news, it became a phenomenon." TV hosts cried on air, "The most beautiful secret ever kept." Psychologists discussed the toll of hidden love on celebrities. And rival fanbases temporarily united under hashtags like Protect the Twins and Love Wins Quietly. But not everyone was kind. Critics accused them of manipulating public sentiment when it didn't serve their careers. One commentator argued, and revealed it only when the timing felt safe. Yet, the dust settled. That voice was drowned out by an overwhelming tide of empathy. Because people didn't just see celebrities anymore, they saw humans. Behind Dylan's sharp suits and Shen Yue's innocent charm was a pair of people who dared to love in a world that punished sincerity. Choice to live quietly became the loudest statement of all. For the first time in years, Dylan appeared publicly. He attended a charity event days after the announcement, no bodyguards, no filters, no grand speech. When reporters asked how he felt, he simply smiled and said, "Relieved and thankful." It wasn't the answer of a star. It was the answer of a man who had carried a secret too heavy for too long. Shen Yue broke her silence a few days later in an interview for Marie Claire China. Her words were gentle, almost trembling. "We never meant to deceive anyone. We just wanted our love to grow without noise. There's a difference between hiding and protecting, and maybe we were just protecting something fragile until it was strong enough to face the world." That single sentence silenced every critic. The world began to soften. The same media that once hunted them now ran editorials praising their courage. Fans created tribute videos that spliced their Meteor Garden scenes with a new photo, set to emotional soundtracks. The internet that once tore people apart was now piecing together something beautiful. Still, questions lingered. Would they return to acting? Would they appear together again on screen? Or would this be the quiet end of an era? Neither confirmed nor denied. For the first time, silence didn't feel like distance, it felt like peace. Passed, but the moment refused to fade. Spoke of them as if recalling a fairy tale. A story of two people who met through fiction, fell in love under fiction, and turned it into life, away from cameras, beyond scripts. The twins became symbols of purity in a digital age consumed by noise. Fan groups organized fundraisers in their names, planting trees called Spirit and Dawn across schools and parks. It wasn't just admiration, it was collective healing. Every generation has a love story that defines it, one that blurs the line between real and unreal, reminding us that beneath fame and filters, there are still hearts beating with quiet devotion. For this generation, that story belonged to Dylan and Shen Yue. Their love didn't demand attention, it earned it. By surviving the one thing most relationships couldn't, the world's gaze. As the chaos slowly faded, the photo remained pinned at the top of every fan account. The same image that started it all, the family beneath the morning light. Their smiles unposed. Their joy unspoken. In the end, it wasn't the revelation that stunned the world. It was the realization that Even in an era obsessed with exposure, love could still exist in silence. Somewhere, behind that soft sunrise, the four of them, Dylan, Shen Yue, twins, continued to live quietly. Far from hashtags and headlines. Not as icons. Not as secrets. But as a family. Not out of fear. One journalist wrote. They hid because the world was too loud for something that gentle. Internet may move on. But that single truth will linger, in a world addicted to spectacle. They prove that love's greatest power lies not in being seen, but in being felt. And just like that, after years of speculation, the story ended where it truly began, not on a film set. Not on a red carpet. But in a moment of raw, human honesty. Internet may never be the same again.